Hello, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. So today I'm going to talk about some inversions. I'm going to talk about how this can take place within a societal construct, how the inversions can take place to keep a gauge of narrative within society, how they can use campaigns to push an agenda, how they can do this. I did it already through, race and religion in that one, but I'm going to do it through different ones now. I'm going to talk about different things. I'm going to speak about how they can invert good things and make it bad. And this is generally how they do it. This is how mental illness can stir, and this is how people can end up in mental institutions, and also how really how they can invert you as a person to be seen in a different light. This is how it's done. Oh, and you might be able to understand that this might happen with children who have been placed in conditions such as care, and this is also another way to keep parents away from their children, right? Right, so let's go way back into shamanism, right? So, shamanism, this is a really, amazing teaching, right? This is the Indians, and, the natives, they all knew this, right? They knew it. They had a spiritual reign on this plane. So let's just understand what can happen or why these people may have been taken out. And I'm going to be honest, because I'm here with the truth and love in my heart. Okay? So the natives got took out because they had spiritual awareness, spiritual knowledge, and they didn't want them to have it. So they took it from them, made everybody lose their memories from these spiritual significances, and then they stole that information, or they took the information. So they worked together with the tribe, and then they took them out. And this is usually why this happens. It happens because they wanted the knowledge so they can reign on spiritual reigns, ultimately, so they can control the world. Okay, so this is how it's done. This is how it was done. So we can understand that through these processes of intelligence, through spiritual matters, this is the reason why this takes place in the first place. This is why there's wars, right? This is why. Because they have knowledge, and ancient knowledge, like I talk about ancient knowledge as well. I talk about this in other ones. So the Seek, the dimensional spaces, stuff like this, right? So this is how why there's a domination within society over time again. Okay, as a criminologist, this is my understanding. This is my what I've come to conclude in my why wars take place. Okay, and it's to gain the knowledge and then take it for themselves, and then to reign on humanity in any way they see that's right in their eyes. Okay, or they might be distorted. They might need healing. Okay, they might need to understand that they might have been abused and then accepted something that was wrong, and it's actually something in their energy field that just needs to be removed. Okay, so we can understand this, how there is more good on the plane than there is bad. Okay, there's more good people out there than there is bad people out there, meaning that more people want to have a good world, develop a good world and promote that. Okay, so you can tell that there's more good people, and you can tell that the few is the bad people. You can't put it down to family, because I don't believe that. You can't put it down to a specific ruling elite. Well, you can probably put it down to a specific ruling elite, but what you'll find is that they're not actually at the top. They're hiding, okay, in the midst. Okay, so this is usually how it takes place. And the reasons why is because they're the ones that are controlling, but they're not seen as the controlling factors, but really they are. okay, and understand that this is how nations can be taken over, how policies can be inverted, laws can be inverted, how they can invert your own understanding and awareness, and to create a gauge to hate on a specific person, maybe to take what they want and create inversions. I'm going in. So in a roundabout way, they're using the techniques to of shamanism, of a peaceful originally it was a peaceful spiritual underpinning, and they've inverted that, which is quite disturbing and disgusting. It's disgusting. Okay? It's pretty obvious. It's disgusting. So let me just get into this a little bit more, but I'm going to sort of branch out now and explain how they can do this, or how they've been doing this, but I'm going to put it within in a societal, I'm going to bring this into context, I'm going to put it in a societal context, just so you can sort of get what I'm trying to say. And so I want to say as well is that, let's bring this into context. So what about gay pride? That's been going on for a while, hasn't it? And we'll go on this one. We'll talk about this one. This one's interesting, right? So the rainbow, they like the rainbow, don't they? So what is that? What is that saying? We accept all colours, right? So they accept trans, all like that, yeah. So obviously we don't accept child abuse, do we? So why are you using a rainbow? Right? So let's not use the rainbow anymore. Do you understand what that means? We don't accept it. We don't accept child abuse, child sex abuse. Do you understand? So when you understand a rainbow concept, we don't accept all that. We don't accept them all. We are not boundless. Okay? We have boundaries. Okay? We don't allow that. It's in law. It's in the laws. So if you're going against if you're in a higher paid position to push this narrative, just remember that this rainbow concept, okay, you're being ritualized. Understand that, right? And it's a mass ritual on the masses, right? So to be, a man or a woman, and want to be a genderless or whatever, fair enough. But there's a line, isn't there? And a lot of these people that do gay pride will say this as well. So we don't accept that. Why? Because it's bad. So it's against the law. We don't allow this, okay? We don't allow people who are little kids, right? In that way. We don't accept it. We don't turn blind eyes to it. As a public interest, we don't like it. Okay? 9 times out of 10, what you'll find is a lot of people won't agree with child sex abuse, right? And I might get a shot off of this, but the reason why is because we want to protect our children. Okay? So there's a boundary, isn't there? Okay? That's the line. Okay? So the rainbow is what? An acceptance of a lot of it, but then there's a line, isn't there? So we don't allow that. So remember that when you see a rainbow, there's a line, there's a boundary. Okay? So we don't accept it. We don't accept the child abuse. Okay? We drew a line. That's why the rainbow only is half of a rainbow. Get it? So, we don't agree with this in society, in our laws. This pretty much says it, doesn't it? In our laws. And it also says that children have a right to counselling. Children have a right to, speak. be heard, be seen, be listened to, right? So what happens when this doesn't take place? They are unseen, unheard and all that. So where's the boundary? Where's the children's rights? Okay? Because it seems to me like there might be a couple of inversions taking place there, where you're using a law to manipulate, to take away a child's rights. I've seen this a couple of times. Been going on for years. It's red tape so you can't see it. So let's get into this. The rainbow, okay, is to push a narrative of what? Agreeing with all. Because this is one of the things that we're trying to push on it in 2020. Okay? And I think I've heard someone say in it that they don't, that in some of them, that in Google, I think I researched a bit of Google, and it said that not all of these people are bad, right? So it's almost like Google trying to accept this kind of behaviour. So we have to understand that's how society can push narratives, right? We don't accept it, but how society has gone from a LBGT community to an LBGT community to then to all multiple pronouns, to then what? Confuse you that much, right, in your identity. Who are you? To then what? To push stuff like that, right? It's not acceptable, okay? Children have minds and they are still developing and they need to be protected, safe, right? So what happens when you don't do this? Well, it means that you're breaking the law. It means that you're breaking the law. So my brain got arrested. He got arrested, didn't he? Anyway, this might be why. Because he was trying to push a narrative, or they might have just been, he might have denied it. Who knows? It could have gone one way or another, because this is where the inversions start coming from. So we have to then understand that all this stuff going on, it might be an inverted state to push an agenda, an acceptance, which I think is absolutely vile and disgusting. But this is why I'm saying it, because this needs to be understood, right? So let's think about how an inversion can take place in our society to push narratives, right? Because you think the rainbow's innocent. The rainbow is an innocent thing, but there's a boundary, right? There's a line. You only ever see half a rainbow. It's not a full one, is it? It's a boundary. There's a line, and this is how you should see it. So the reality is that, let's get into another one. I think I already did. But this was to push narrative. This was a charity-based organisation originally. For what? For an acceptance of gays. That's it. That's all it was at first. But how long is this going on? How long do we have to push this agenda? How long? What next? Type thing, right? So there, it's almost like they're trying to invert a space to create a space for an acceptance of these animals, these disgusting beasts, right? So that's what they are. They're beasts, right? So what do you do when we have to come on to things like this? Because these are hard topics to talk about. I studied this, and we studied this in criminology, right? So what do we do when we have to talk about these hard topics that come to us? Because they know. Oh, you lot up there, you know that I studied this. Yeah. You know that I'm a Royal Archangel Gabriella, you know. You know I'm here for the children, right? So what did you do that for? So anyway. So now let's just bring this together. Mass children are going in care. Why? I've already done the stats for you. It's in my community posts. Why is a loads of kids going in care? What are you doing there? right? It's against the law. A lot of things that are going on as well. You have to understand that there's a lot of things in our society that's against the law but still goes on. People can turn blind eyes to it. Why? Why? Money. Some people won't be sold by money, but what they'll do is they'll create a space. This is how shamanism come into it, to turn people against you, right, on spiritual realms, to stop you from having what's rightfully yours. So these people are thieves, okay? They don't own you. Just because you got a birth certificate don't mean that they own you. No. It just means that you're registered, so if you go missing, they can find you. Isn't that right? Wonder how much I'm worth on your little Wall Street economy. Right? So, what they do is, sometimes, in these corrupt spaces in our society that I've spoke about this the other day, these corrupt spaces that are around us in our society, sometimes it can be an inversion. So let's talk about how they might invert understanding aspects of like policies or, truths, to invert it, to stop you from having what's yours on purpose, right? Because they don't want you to have it. Because you're going to pose a threat to their agenda, right? Do you understand? You are a threat to them in one way or another. You're a threat to them. They don't like you. So they're going to control narrative. Well, they did the Indians. Took the knowledge and then took them all out, didn't they? Right? Just like they're probably doing all the other countries. Don't know who's doing it. Right? So, you've got inversions in a state, in a system. What's taking place? It might not be all the way up there. It might just be one bloke who might want you to pop your clogs, right? One bloke might want to pop you to pop your clogs because he's off soon as well. He wants to jump back through you. You never know, do you? Because they obviously are they understand shamanism or whatever, right? So you've got people who are bullies, right? So you get people in positions of power who are bullies, who might rain on you in spiritual understandings and significances, right? To stop you from being you, because you have something to share with the world, that you might want to change the world in some way, or you might bring awareness and knowledge to something one way or another, and they don't want you to do that, right? So this is how hard topics like child abuse, right, is sort of, if you try and push that narrative to stop, right, or like change Gabriella, you're Samia, to push that narrative to stop, what do you think they're going to try and do to me? What do you think they're going to try and do to all these women, all these people out there that are trying to bring out an awareness and knowledge and understanding? Because I did this in 2011, 12, 13, right? So this is what I was doing in my years. I was studying, I was doing this, right? So, they know who I am. They know well aware what I agree with and what I don't agree with. Talk about GMOs and all sorts of stuff. My posters, I was getting thirds. Talking about genetically modified organisms, food, and how the pesticides can, destroy the soils. And I was getting in trouble for that. I was getting thirds. Right? Why? Because it doesn't fit in narrative. So this is why I had to fit in narrative to get my 2-2. I had to fit in a narrative to some degree. Okay? So we have to understand that, when you sort of have opinions, you're watched. You become somebody who is spiritually observed. Okay? You might have to go all your life. Or they might want something that's yours. So you might just become spiritually observed. Okay? So you might be aspects like monitoring spirits, stuff like this, right? The watchers, all them ones, right? If you follow me this long, you're still going after you've listened to what I've just said. Wow, right? So bring this together. What they can do is to stop people in this world, which is wrong and shouldn't happen, from coming out and being you, protecting these children or whatever it is, to stop the tariffs in society, because it's always a top-down perspective, right? It's a top-down, okay? So you have to understand that the policies, when they create, they're always top-down, okay? All they've got to do is take away aspects of support and then push everyone into judgment for no reason as well sometimes, because they can lie as well. So you have to understand that when we talk about this, you have to be really understanding. You have to be up here. You have to know, because you've experienced it yourself. And then you have to be up here and understanding. Okay? Not in a 5D created space. In you. So the reason why I say this is because what can happen in society is they can, if they don't want you, okay, to have what you want, because they might be a nonce or they might be something like that, they can come back and try and destroy your life for a shamanism concept. They can pull all them stops out on you, right? And then what happens is it's a load of theatrics, right? In the end. So they can push, a mental illness on you. Like, for example, let's go into mental illnesses. What's schizophrenic? That's an attachment. What's a psychosis? That's a ritual. What's attachments, but not, schizophrenia is not just attachments, it's a monitoring spirits attacking you. Okay, so what about this one? And this is why, because people are evil, they don't like us, right? And there's a reason as well, and it's because people don't want us to be they don't want us to they don't want it to change. Okay, so you get people out there who are maybe really strong, powerful individuals, and you might end up being pushed into inversions because they don't want you to come out of what you have to offer to the world. Okay, so what they'll do is usually they'll get like either advanced cortisone, they'll give them false downloads through 60 what's name 60, it's create spaces where I think I put posts in the community. They could put you unconscious and stuff like this, give you messages. You might think you're an amazing psychic, you might think you're an amazing clairvoyant, like it's just giving you downloads. Sometimes they're false, sometimes they're real, right? And this is how it works. This is how I understand it as well, because this is why I don't think everyone should be like legit 100% clairvoyance. But if there are some good ones out there though, but then some of them might be taken out, and then they think that they're back on top form, and they might just have been took out completely, right? So this is how they can use shamanism against us, right? False downloads. This is how programmable states can bring in understanding what's going on in this world and why it always stays the same, and why they push tariffs down or agendas down and it's going the way it is, because there might be overlords on them, and sometimes as well is that if they want you to tap out, like usually this can be done through aspects of mental illness. Okay, I don't know what else is there. What else is there? Bipolar disorder. I don't know what that is. I need to read it to see. I can't think off the top of my head what that spiritual ritual is. But they're all rituals. They're all rituals. So at this stage, listening to me for this long, I think you'll understand that they're all rituals. Okay. Fortunately. And this is why I'm talking about it. Because a lot of people don't understand what this is. And you have to be strong in the mind. Okay? I'm a warrior. Spiritual warrior, right? Yeah, I am. And the reason why is because a lot of people don't even see. You'll get people tell you they're advanced cultists. And they've just had overlords over them. They don't know anything. They don't know any of the processes that have happened. They don't know how to understand and comprehend some of this stuff. And, they have ego boosts through it. And that's how they do it, right? And I'm not doing this for an ego boost. I'm not doing it because I want to be seen as a I don't want to be seen as, oh, I'm the best, but I know stuff. This is why I'm saying it. It's pretty obvious at this stage that I understand the Kabbalah. I'm well aware of it. I understand the inversions that have been taking place. And this is how they usually control narratives within society. And also another one is being arrested. Okay, so this is another one, being arrested. So, you know, you can understand being in a psychosis state. These are white screens. You can understand black screens, and you can understand blue screens. Okay, so they're all connected. So you get white screens where they make you go into a psychosis. They give you fear, and then that's another process as well of how to destabilize you in your mind, giving you all this stuff that's really scary. Okay, so that you don't even know anything. They destabilize us, right? This is how they do it. So just know it's not real. Just know that it's not, and that it's part of a ritual because they have an agenda later on for you. Okay, whether it's bad or good, right? They're going to show you stuff to stop you from having what is yours. Okay, this is usually why this takes place. So who would do this? Well, big boss men, mate. Big boss men, right? They do it. Okay. So another thing is that they can do it through being arrested. You know. So this is another thing. They can do it through mental institutions. Okay. This is another thing. This is why some people never come out of them, because they don't want them out. Okay. Because they have a strong mind and they might be pushing inversions onto them. And then also there's another one is the original is the blue beam. That's like that's the blue beam. Okay, so if you don't know what it is, don't mind, just leave it. But if you know what it is, it's blue beam. Okay, that's another ritual. And I do not consent. I don't want anyone else to consent to this. And I think that you really need to think about how you're going about controlling this world. I really think that you need to take a step back and understand that there is a lot of corruption taking place, and it might even be higher ups. They might not even have a clue about this. What I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you about it because there's a reason why this happens in the world. And as a criminologist, an advanced cultist, to bring this together to help you see, because I always wanted to know, why do people commit crime? This was my burning question. Why do the people commit crime? And it's sad to say, but you know, I do believe that it's because they want to push narratives in society, as I said originally, and then they want to introduce things and then push it to boundless extremes and then try and make it acceptable, but they haven't done it within a law state, so it's still illegal. Okay, so it's not illegal to conduct rituals on people. I think there's one state in America where this is actually illegal. Okay, there's no jurisdiction in spirituality. Is there? Well, Royal Archangel Gabrielle is here to make you aware of what's happening, children. Because the reality is that it's not your fault a lot of the times. Okay, so they can do many things. They can do many things, but always know the 3D realm and see that person, that realm, this reality. What are they representing? And that's what's more important than anything else. Because you understand that spirituality has changed since we have developed into 5G, 5D, 5G towers. We have smartphones, everything's changed, okay? This is a black screen. We have to understand the black screen, okay? So it can be used to scry. So that's one thing I'm going to say. So people can be watching you on your own screen and it's black. I think I've heard this before. but it's not, I don't know whether it's on YouTube or anything anymore, but I'm bringing this to you because I'm bringing a collaboration of occult topics and criminology and how a society and function can criminalise people and justifiably create miscarriages of justice, okay, and put people in prison or in mental institutions for long periods of time because they're trying to push a narrative, okay, to stop you because you bring a message to the world that needs to be said, or that, for example, we need to come down harder on, child law, like certain things like we should be conducting more sting operations, finding children, monitoring children through the police force, and for services teams, making sure that these children are safe, that you're not just liaising with them in partnership, but you are doing it for the people, for the public, and it always stays like that. So there has to be an understanding that it's an umbrella, but there's a fragmentation taking place because this is what keeps it all together. So what is that? It's the people, okay? So you have to remember what you're doing your jobs for. You're doing it for the people, okay? So the umbrella term is used for all these institutions, but really they're all what? All together. There's no overarching factor. Okay? So you have to understand that these places within our society have a position, but it's meant to be for the people. Okay? At the top, people at top. But if it's not, then this is how they are pushing policy narrative agenda at the time to create that so that they don't help. They're actually liaising with each other to conduct these things. So this is where you understand that once you are placed in a systematic process of these areas, okay, you might have been pushed into this. It might have been a lie, false, not true. You might have been pushed into these spaces because you're a target. And why? It could be for many reasons. Many reasons. Okay, they will use the disadvantages in society. So disability, race, age, gender, sex. They will use these as a gauge to promote an inversion in itself. And they ignore a truth. And this is how a miscarriage of negligence can take place throughout these functions and systems within our society. Okay, the umbrella concept. So that's the umbrella for the people. Okay, so what they've done is they've put a policy there instead. And that's the reality. Okay, because you can understand it from that perspective as well. So it's really for the people, but they can push a narrative or a tariff down. Okay, and some of it's red tape, like care homes. They're red taped. So they are doing this so that society is broken because they want something, right? So I'm not pushing this. I completely disagree. I think that is disgusting. I think that, ideas like Google are sharing, like the stuff like child abuse, saying that paedophilia, being a pedo isn't as bad, but it is all bad, okay? Understanding them aspects of being that is disgusting, right? It's disgusting. Because Gemma said so. Royal Archangel Gabriella, a messenger for the children, right? So this is my opinion on this. I think it should stop. I think we need to be aware of who's conducting the rituals and why they're taking place. Are you being possessed by an overlord? Do you need healing? Where is the ability for you as a millionaire, as a top high-ranking person in a position of power? What's going on, right? Because it's illegal under our UK law system, right? But unfortunately, through these systems, in a societal understanding, when a tariff is created, not from the people, but from the higher ups, when that's created, well, all the systems aren't going to work properly. They're not going to promote aspects of safety and welfare for the children. And this is the reason as well. So we have to really rethink our strategies when we come into understanding bringing children out of their home and putting them in strangers and leaving them there for long periods of time, because you are destabilizing their family. Okay, so what is this to do? Break the nuclear family. Okay, so I've heard someone talk about this. I think it was Max Spears. He said about how they were looking to destabilize the masculine, the strong alpha male, the strong alpha male. They were trying to break the strong alpha male. Well, what's that doing? Put them through prison or something like that? I don't know. Or they're going to try and break the strong alpha females. Okay, and this is because they wanted to destabilize the nuclear family. I don't know why, because it doesn't make any sense, unless it's because they want something and it's not oil. Maybe it's the children. And then we have to think, what is this world? What is this world based on? Because a lot of children are going into care, and it's alarming, and it's only getting more and more. Just look down the street. Where are the kids? Where are the kids? Right? I'm not going to go into too much anymore about, that, but maybe I will another time. But this is just sort of basic understanding of how rituals can take place within an institutional process, and how it's been set for a very, very long time. Okay? Because I'm pretty sure I'm just a criminologist, I'm an observer. I'm pretty sure that they all know this. I'm pretty sure that people in them institutions know all this. Right? So this is how you can understand where I'm trying to come from here, where these people don't actually, they might know themselves what's going on, what's taking place. Okay? These people in these positions, or they might not know. And, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not their fault either. It's somebody at the top pulling the strings. Like on the devil card, pulling the strings, and then they've put you in this state. Right? So, that's enough for today. My name is Gemma Haley. I am a criminologist. I do not accept child abuse, child trafficking. I do not accept any of this stuff. Okay? We need to destabilise these functions to understand, not in a way where we go around and just be like, rah, but in a way where we understand that these processes shouldn't take place. And from a top down, I am talking to you up there to tell you, not God. I'm telling you, policymakers who are pushing these children in care and not providing support services like they were before 2020, before COVID, that you need to stop this, and it needs to stop as soon as possible. I am telling you now, you need to stop this. 369, you need to stop this. This is illegal, right? And you're doing it under everybody's noses, and it's illegal. And I don't consent, and neither do the people